Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Sports for today's World Rankings preview of the weekend. And if you're a Springbok fan, it is a good time to look at the rankings because we cannot lose the number one spot, but we could actually extend our lead on the top of the table to up to about 6 ranking points if all the right results go our way this weekend, which definitely sort of would demonstrate and show the dominance the Springboks are currently showing in the world. And I think that, I think it was Bernard Jackman who spoke about the fact that the Boks are probably about 15 points better than any team at the moment. And that's kind of the gulf between the Boks and the rest. And if the right results go that way and we kind of end up with like a 6-point ranking difference between us and second, that would probably then show that that's exactly the case. However, you've got to back that up. And that's the big thing. The Springboks playing against Ireland in Dublin this weekend, a place we have not won in 13 years. It's a big opportunity to try and put that right. And I think that it's the perfect opportunity. I think we're playing in such good form at the moment. All our players are showing some really, really good moments at the moment. We've picked a good squad. It's a full squad full of confidence. And I really think that if there's ever a time to really go make a statement in Dublin, this is probably it. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. Before we get into the rankings preview, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right, so this is what we got. And some interesting stats. Obviously, we had Samoa confirmed as the 24th and final qualifier of the World Cup. Would have loved to have seen Belgium go. Obviously, a World Cup without Samoa would be very sad. But, I mean, how cool would it be seeing a new nation like a Belgium, for example, at the World Cup itself? In terms of the world ranking draw, for example, South Africa, New Zealand, England, Ireland, Argentina cannot drop out of band 1 for the World Cup. However, France could. And if France loses by more than 15 points to Australia, Australia would actually overtake them. And they can go down to 7th, would France, if they lose by more than 15 points. That would then see Wallabies go into Pool A in Band 1. Because they're on the host nation, they're automatically in Pool A, but they're not currently in Band 1. So it's quite a significant weekend. That's a very significant game, that France versus Australia match. Because if the right result goes, then Australia can find themselves in Band 1 and get themselves potentially a slightly easier World Cup campaign, or at least will go in feeling that they're within the top sort of size being ranked. In terms of sort of your tier 1 nations and kind of exactly where all that's going, you've got Scotland, for example. They cannot gain any rating points from Tonga or Chile. However, if they lose, they can slip further down, which is a bit worrying. So Scotland go down to 10th if they lose a match against Tonga, and Italy beat Chile, which would mean that the Scots will drop below Italy for the first time since February 2013. I personally don't understand why Gregor Towns is not under more pressure, to be honest. That Scottish side on paper should be playing a lot better. And they had good moments against, for example, New Zealand, but they just can't seem to get the kind of results. If we look at, for example, some other results, Scotland could actually go down to 11th if they lose by more than 15 points, and Wales managed to beat New Zealand, and that would see Wales returning to the top 10 for the first time since July 2024. But we don't see that really happening. The big thing for Springbok fans is South Africa cannot surrender the number 1 spot, even if they lose by more than 15 points in doubling. However, they can gain up to 1.32 points for beating Ireland by more than 15 points. And it's possible that their cushion at the top could be as much as 6.57 points if New Zealand and England suffer similar heavy losses to Wales and Argentina, respectively. Don't really see it happening. I mean, if Wales were to beat the All Blacks, first of all, it would be an absolute disaster for the All Blacks. There'll be an inquisition. There'd be probably a national panic, to be perfectly honest, if this current Welsh side beats that New Zealand side. Argentina beating England, I don't think that's as far-fetched, to be honest. I mean, they put that incredible comeback against Scotland last week, and I think if Argentina start well, they can beat most sides in the world. England obviously looking to try and go and get their 11th win in a row. And so if we look at it, for example, Argentina would be their closest rival to the Springboks. If they are to go and beat England, for example, and Wales to beat New Zealand, Argentina going to 2nd in the world. So it's amazing how, for example, the right couple of results here and there, all of a sudden you can really rise through these rankings. So an Argentina win against England and Wales, masterclass, would suddenly put them at 2nd, which they've never been. And I think that Argentina are within the top 4 best sides in the world. So I'm not ruling that out in terms of them beating England. I'm ruling out the Wales beating New Zealand. But, so Argentina are one of 4 teams that could, at the end of the weekend, 2nd place. New Zealand, Ireland, England are also eyeing that spot New Zealand could win and still lose second spot, however, if Ireland beat the Springboks by more than 15 points. England will move to second if they beat Los Pumas. That'll take this winning streak up to 11 tests, and New Zealand and Ireland would fail to win their final matches of the year. New Zealand can fall no lower than fourth if beaten by Wales and Cardiff, while the lowest England can fall is sixth with a heavy loss, hence the whole sort of they can't fall out of that band one. So those are sort of the main sort of scenarios, really. In terms of what I think is sort of more likely, obviously Springboks take number one spot. I think New Zealand should finish in second unless the Springboks get defeated heavily. And if England beat Argentina, they probably go up to about third. So likely for me, my prediction is Springboks, New Zealand, England, and Ireland topping up that top four, or even Argentina maybe. Argentina get a result there. In terms of, whatever there. So at the moment, the first game of those Wales versus New Zealand. Those are kind of the different points that can sort of happen. New Zealand can't improve on their ranking. Ireland for South Africa, for example. South Africa can improve on the actual ranking itself. So if South Africa win by 15 points or less, they go up to 93.94. If they win by more than 15 points, they can go up to 94.38. And Ireland will slip down to 87.53. France versus Australia. This is the interesting one. And I mean, it's interesting when you think there's 6 ranking points between them. But if Australia win by more than 15 points, because it's a away game, they'll go up to 84.45. France go down to 84.32. And that would then see them basically switch places, which would be a very, very interesting scenario. It's going to be an interesting weekend, to be perfectly honest. In terms of some of the stats, for example, Holly Davidson taking out Wales versus New Zealand from a refereeing perspective over in Ireland. We have got Matthew Carley from England, who will be refereeing this the match. Hopefully, we don't have to speak to him too much. Other games, for example, we've got France versus Australia, which will be taken by Luke Pearce, probably the number one referee in the world right now. Luke Pearce, or definitely one of the top referees in the world. Italy versus Chile is Adam Leal from England, in case you want to know. Scotland versus Tonga will be Luke Ramos from France. And then for me, one of the big games of the weekend, and one I'm really looking forward to, England versus Argentina, will be Pierre Brisset from France. What are your thoughts? What are your predictions? Where do you see the number one, the ranking sort of ending at the end of this season? Let me know down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.